Hello, this is Starshot here to welcome you back to my Let's Play of Ys Origin. We last left off falling into a trap that led us here to these lower levels, but now after finding the Blue Crest key or moon, we should now be able to get out of here and move on to where we were before. But before we continue progressing, I thought I would go ahead and accept a divine blessing, which pretty much allows us all these different buffs depending on how much SP we have. For example, I can strengthen my current armor. Now, I don't believe this is necessary, unless maybe you're doing a nightmare playthrough, but I find it useful at least, because, let's see, it does improve your armor by 1, so now it's at least a little bit stronger and better against enemies. So I normally do that just because I have the extra SP and it's not something I need to worry about. But I do, or at least for me, I plan to save up my SP enough so that I eventually unlock a different one that increases the amount of SP I can get. So, but let's go ahead and find our way over here. And oh look, there's some new people we haven't met before. I wonder if they're friendly or not. Apparently this is a muscular man, even though we only see the back of him with his spear, but I guess he must be strong. And we've also encountered the spirited girl, who apparently is kind of annoyed about the little runt, and doesn't he ever get tired. And that she still wants to keep looking for this runt that she's angry at. And Muscular Man doesn't care because he doesn't care for cowards. And this girl's a hunter of people apparently, because she's more than happy to keep going after this guy. And she is completely oblivious to the situation at hand here, apparently, Unica. You sweet, sweet, naive girl. Apparently she doesn't understand that these guys could probably handle themselves if they're both wielding weapons like that. Well, at least these guys apparently found it funny. I wouldn't think her clothes would mark her as a hick. At least to me, they don't seem like farmer's clothes. Or, I guess I would have to look up the word hick, because usually it was, I guess, meant to... I guess, yeah, I would have to do more research to fully know the word hick. If that's a shortening of an insult, or if it's specifically meant a certain group of people. But, yeah. You know, definitely trying to be used as an insult here. How's she supposed to know who the sorcerer you're chasing is? Yeah, just like she said. Okay, that seems a little uncalled for with these insults so far, but then again, she doesn't really seem to be very much of a nice person now, does she? And so far, Unica's being fairly patient. I don't think she was coming up to beg to kill her guys, but as I said, they're supposedly somewhat evil people right now. She didn't hear about the demon? Familiar? Yeah, that's not a good order now, is it? Yes, that's their names. Yeah, that's probably the question most people would be asking themselves right now instead of all this weird banter you had beforehand, Unica. And apparently she can call down demons to fight for her. But man, that's an ugly looking demon, that's for sure. So, if I recall, the best way to fight this guy is pretty much not to get too preoccupied trying to fight him. But as you can see, thanks to our wind attack and just charging it up, we can pretty much just run around him and do damage without worrying about getting hurt ourselves. He does have a few attacks that you have to watch out for, but as long as you're kind of moving and you don't kind of stay in one place for too long, you should be able to dodge for the most part, but sometimes you might take a hit or two. So one of the things to make sure to do is to go from his right side whenever he does his claw attack, because he usually kind of swipes from the right. And so if you're circling around from that side, then you usually avoid it. Or his left claw, not his right. So that's kind of how you can easily avoid that. And they definitely have quite a bit of health, so it does take a while to kind of bring him down. But just kind of be patient and get a few hits in while you can. Because once you do bring him down to half life, he will split into two smaller versions of this guy. And you know, once he does that, he just has more coverage. So you kind of have to try and avoid the other one as much as possible while damaging the other one. And also, as you can see, when he's flying around in his bat form, he's kind of invulnerable. You can't hurt him at all. But if you use your wind attack, then he can't hurt you either with his little bat guys. Ah, darn it, I went the wrong way. Ah, darn it. Okay, took a little bit damage there, but I'm still fine. And as you can see, the fire just goes that far, so you usually don't have to worry about it if you're far enough away at least. And if you're lucky, they'll group up like this, which really helps in trying to deal out the damage. But as you can see, just a few more times and I should be able to take him out here. You know, usually the biggest issue you might have when trying to fight him is being too aggressive. Like right now he's getting pretty low, and so you would want to try and get him if you can with a few attacks, but as long as you take your time and try not to rush him too much, he'll go down without too much trouble, even if I did take a few of those hits there. But there you go. That's how you beat the first boss of the game. Yeah, that's also a good question, Unica. Why would people want to hang around demons? Supposedly they're not that great, but well, or they're usually depicted as killing monsters who have no emotions or feelings whatsoever. But hey, I'm almost pretty close to another level, so I'll definitely want to try and get that when I get the chance. And hey, I now have a bronze key. I'm guessing that'll come in handy. along with the Mask of Eyes. Now, for those of you who have played the Ys series, but haven't played Ys Origins yet, some of you might be, see Ys or the Mask of Eyes as a fairly familiar item. It originally came from Ys 1. Like, funny enough, Ys 1 and 2 were first, before Ys Origins, since Ys Origins is considered a prologue. But, of course it didn't show up until later on when the series was more established. So, but the Mask of Eyes is an artifact you pick up in the first game, which would allow you to see secret areas. But it would make it so that you couldn't see people. Like any animals or monsters, you couldn't see them whatsoever. Like, I can actually show you right now once we get over here. Since these guys aren't too powerful, so you can go ahead and equip this. And as it says, it allows the swear to see hidden passages and objects, but hides living creatures. So, and here they are. They're kind of invisible here. So, I definitely don't recommend wearing this all the time, but you will have to use it a few times to try and progress through the story or find some secret stuff. So, but yeah, it pretty much made its first appearance in the first Ys game. And of course they decided to bring it back because, why have a prologue if it doesn't have things that tie the first and this one together? And I always feel that that's always a nice little touch there, when they do try to find little subtle ways to connect the games, even if they're not, like, directly connected to each other. Kind of like how they did with Final Fantasy with the Chocobos, Moogles, and all those other little nods and tilts. But yeah, let's go ahead and use our key here. Now we open this door. And oh look, bats. This what every single game ever existing always needs, a bat enemy. I really feel like at some point I really should make a top 10 video. I'll probably do a top 10 video of bats. In terms of either scariness or how annoying they are. Because most bats are fairly annoying. Who knows how many other top 10s for bats there are, but I'll still want to make one if I get around to it. But yeah, so if you're wondering, hey, why is there no path or way out or something like that? Well, if you see this little symbol here, all you have to do is equip the Mask of Eyes, and voila! Secret passage. And oh look! Someone's here! A boy's voice! And who knows my name, apparently, as Unikatova. But, weirdly enough, she can't see him, of course, because of the mask. So, I think that's really cool, actually, that they got to add that it actually has story context. It's not just this weird thing she seems to have and no one seems to question or ask, hey, where'd you get this? Or why do you have it? Or what does this do? Or actually, I guess he still doesn't comment about it, but they at least played it in the story, so I at least thought it was interesting, to say the least. But here we go, Rico Gemma, part of the Sorcerer's Contingent. Yeah, that's always a good question to ask people when they're wound up in places that are hidden behind secret areas that require a mask that I have to get through, supposedly. Yep, so you just had to follow them without any backup whatsoever. I find it weird that these people don't seem to fully know everyone in the search party. And that they assume some of the other people who are around are part of the search party. Because there's no way humans could be down here with all these demons. Oh, apparently he's hurt. Okay, I guess I'm not sure how healing magic works, but you would think it would be a bit faster than you know, him still feeling pain and all. Well, at least the muscled man still has his name, but apparently the spirited woman was relegated to a woman with all kinds of tattoos. Even though I didn't, like, I've seen more tattoos on other people than I did her, at least. Well, good to know that apparently this was the sorcerer that I think ran away. I wonder if it was the same monster we faced. I guess that's a good question too. Weirdly enough, they ask a lot of good questions in this game, and sadly they don't answer them all right away. Or of course they don't know anything, so we're just learning it as they do, but they at least express their thoughts about what's going on here and questioning, hey, why is this going on? Which I guess would be what would happen in an actual search party when you think about it. But then again, most search parties don't usually have to worry about finding demons in a giant tower that the demons built. And of course we get our nice little summary all taken care of, and we don't have to cut away or anything from it like in a cutscene. I guess maybe that's the biggest thing. Instead of having like this big complex cutscene with high-end graphics and all sorts of animation, they usually just keep theirs simple, which I think for the most part works out just fine. They do at least have these facial expressions they're doing, so it's kind of like, funny enough, it's almost like a visual novel where they have their character portraits who display all the emotions and faces they want to have displayed with the text, while they keep the character models fairly subdued and just simple, and only have animations for them when they're a part of the gameplay. Oh, that's nice. Rico is giving us something to help. Oh look, it's a protective talisman. And apparently it has the power to weaken magic. So it's really helpful with traps. Oh wow, just what we needed, right guys? It's just so helpful. We got just exactly what we needed to get through that trap we've been dealing with, right? That was blocking us from progressing any further. Of course, one thing I have done before is forgotten to equip this. So you actually need to equip it if you want it to work at all. But now with that finally happened, I can finally go to the trap where, you know, and disable it once and for all, so we can finally continue moving on here. So let's go ahead and do that then. And as you can see, with the amount of SP we're getting, it's gonna take a while before I upgrade that thing I wanted to upgrade. But supposedly it should hopefully be able to work fast, or, you know, I'll probably still upgrade it with other things eventually. Man, that laser blast really went a long ways, didn't it? But yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to take care of things fairly simply here. And be able to, you know, either face a new boss or find another new part of the stage to get to. But yeah, as you can see, the pull from the trap is still working, but now we're not kind of just forcibly drawn in now. So, and it also helps that we jump. Because what doesn't make one go faster but jumping, you know, above something? Seems to work in water. Whenever you play a game, you always move faster by leapfrogging, and it works here too when you're being pulled by something, because it only works on the ground and not also in the air. But yep, the trap's all gone now. And we apparently thank Rico for his family being awesome for making the talisman. No, it's probably not those two punks, as you've been calling them. It's kind of weird to think of the word punk being used, like, I imagine anyone using the word punk would be either in a motorcycle game or at least wearing a leather jacket with sunglasses. Well, you never know, Unica. They could totally be, you know, super sophisticated magic doing, even though they both are fairly muscle-bound and warrior-like, not sorcerers. Yep, Unica, keep bringing yourself down just because you can't use magic. Even though I'm sure there are plenty of other people who can't use magic either. Oh yeah, a young man's voice we just heard. Oh look, it's Roy. Sadly not the Roy from Fire Emblem I'm familiar with, but he's still a Roy. And apparently a woman's voice saying, hey, was it her, Roy? Not even sure how they would know it would be me in here. Of course, funny enough, the guy his name is Roy reminds me a bit of Marth, actually. Or maybe Ike from Smash Brothers. That's where I mostly know him from. You weren't worried at all, Unica. You were too busy fighting monsters and getting through this tower to save, you know, the goddesses. Well, I don't think she was worrying anyway. Yes, I have no shame, apparently. Yes, well, this is a fine how do you do. Wait, interrupt me? But you kind of stopped, or at least, like, I guess it's hard to tell who's interrupting who when you have conversations in text boxes. Yeah, she got in anyway, so what? She's not allowed to do what she wants? She was just doing reconnaissance, you know that, and somehow she's killed most monsters fairly without too much trouble so far. But then again, we are the main player, so we get the advantage of save points. You would hope you would have had enough combat experience before getting here. I guess I'm not sure what the protocol is, though, for this situation. Well, isn't that why the search party's here, to look for them? Yeah, there are some people like that, which isn't always a bad thing, but... You know, we have had a few brushes with death already, so it's not like his point isn't valid. And here come the counter-arguments. Yes, that's the best way to get the job when you are enrolling into position. It's because you love the ladies Rhea and Fina. Okay, yeah, sadly, that's just being childish now, yelling, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Sadly, I haven't really resorted to that too much, from what I recall at least. And thankfully, Ramona here can act the adult here and try to make them move past this argument and just simply get going somewhere. And that this is not a place for a schoolyard quarrel. You might as well have. Well, yeah, it would be good if these people could figure out where have people been, what information they've already had, and where else left to search. And who will take where to search. Yeah, those two god dang punks. I feel like I should start talking like a crotchety old man yelling at kids to get off my lawn with that description there. Or at least in that punk comment. Why wouldn't anyone else be looking for the goddesses? They're supposedly super powerful with vast amounts of knowledge and magic. I think I would want to meet a goddess at least, too. If I knew they existed in real life and where to find them. Okay, apparently we should discuss this with Father Shion. Yeah, thankfully someone's worried about Rico, aren't they? You know, being trapped in that room behind some bats. Aw, come on, why do we have to return already? No, I totally won't get sidetracked from getting back to the base. I'm totally gonna get sidetracked from going back to the base. Yeah, a TTB further is like a whole nother area. So now we got some bats here. More bats. I guess they're not too bad, but they're still kind of hard to hit, and, you know, they of course do hurt when they attack you, so. I do my best to take care of them right away. And I do need to go up this way if I want to find a treasure chest, which thankfully has some leather boots. Which, oh crap, I keep pressing that button sometimes. But yeah, leather boots. They apparently fit quite snugly, but aren't very practical for combat. But they supposedly increase my defense, so of course I'll equip them anyway. And don't forget to make sure, whenever you get the chance or am dealing with a bigger, stronger opponent, it's very good to do a downward attack on them. Because as you can see, it makes them more likely stunned, which of course makes them that much easier to fight. There we go. And down. But yeah, so after that, you pretty much just then have to take these platforms to get to the next area here. So we sort of have to go back from where we found those leather boots, technically. So you could, you know, avoid all that if you want to, but I think getting the extra level isn't bad, or the extra XP. And as you can see, magic does a little bit more damage against the night guy, so it's a good idea to use it when you can. And then, of course, we have some new sorcerers to deal with as well. They have a few more attacks than the first ones we did, but they're still not too bad to deal with in the long run. And there's that level we were looking for. There we go. And yeah, so make sure you do plenty of exploring and plenty of fighting if you want to make sure to gain levels and things like that. I'm not quite sure what a speed run for this game would be like though, like how long it would take or how much of a level you would need to fight certain enemies, because getting a level does really increase your stats significantly, as well as you know, make fights a lot shorter. So I'm wondering how much of that plays a role into it. But as you can see, you're normally faster than most enemies, so you should be able to get behind them or get around them most of the time. But as you can see, we found a switch that opened at that door over there. And that there are some invisible walls keeping you from jumping over railings, sadly. But it's thankfully not. It doesn't take too long since you kind of move pretty well as it is. And I figured I would check this area out here, and oh look, a treasure chest. It totally doesn't look suspicious or menacing at all. So we got a beast medallion. Wondering what this is and why it gives me the creeps, apparently. And oh look, it's a trap. With giant enemies to deal with. But yeah, no trouble at all, taken care of pretty easily. So yeah, the game will definitely go a bit longer if you decide to try and fight the enemies most of the time. So you can either fight them or ignore them as you will. It's kind of up to you. But I always find fighting these guys not too bad to do, and you know, as I said, gives me all these nice little buffs as well as XP and SP for the blessings and all that. And sorry if this video is a little bit long, but I usually like trying to get to a save point before wrapping things up for each video, which I should be getting to not too long here. But here we go on the outside again. We get to see kind of all the desolation and just emptiness of the area, including the ocean apparently. And oh look, more blats, and this time they're actually glowing red, so that means I have to take care of them if I want to progress, and they, I think, do more damage too, sometimes. But yeah, they're mostly just annoying because of them flying around away from me and harder to hit. But hopefully I should be able to take care of them shortly here. There we go. I think there's just one or two more now. Okay, apparently we got three more. There we go. And now we got to a save point, and we have the Beast Medallion, which will go into this door here. But sadly, that's all the time we have for today. So join us next time as we continue through those giant sets of doors and assume there might be a big boss or something waiting for us. So until next time, have fun gaming.